her and Van talked about me for a little bit, about me and the big cans and peanut butter skin and just her critics. Let's start with SOT number 6, Joy and Van talking about yours truly.
What type of person are you looking to crash out on? People that were close to you that didn't support you, people that made fun of you, people that talked about your peanut butter skin. Like what? What?
You love that. Admit that you love that, Van.
That shit is funny, dog. I'm
Admit
sorry.
that you love that, Van.
Because you know why I loved it? Because that's the most sincere I've ever seen him.
You know what's funny is I've never watched a second of. I know it exists because of you, because you're an asshole, and other people, and I've seen the comments and stuff. But I've never watched a second of anything that he says. But I think it's so ironic that he would equate it to food. Like, don't you think that?
Love it. No, it's not. It's fitting. You're right.
Like on brand.
It's on brand.
If nothing else, he's going to be on brand.
But he was staring off. You could tell he had really thought about that.
Of course he had.
He was staring off.
He was
in the context of food.
What do I want for a snack?
He was like.
So I guess the only thing I can take from that is they enjoyed my big cans and peanut butter reference. I'll let you react to that, and then I'll follow your lead.
I give them credit for at least bringing it up. She's been on a lot of shows, and those two things are like the two elephants in the room that nobody wants to bring up. Like, the one thing about Joy Taylor, and I wanted to bring this up when we had our panel discussion last week. Joy Taylor is like that really good role player, like the 7th or 8th guy in the rotation in the NBA. They play a role. But the more they play, and what's that word about backups? You know why they're backups. You can't give them too many minutes or every single one of their weaknesses really shows up. And the more Joy Taylor talks, it's like, wow, she really has nothing of value or interesting or provocative to say. Like, she was really good, I thought, as the news update person for Colin Cowherd. I liked her. She was friendly, she had a nice face, everything like that. And you're like, okay, good. But once she starts veering off into like, hey, I'm getting all the minutes, I'm going to get all the shots, you're like, not really. But I do find it interesting when they talk about sincerity. When that particular show, all they do is whine. They really do, and they air out their own racial grievances, which is, I guess they're sincere about that. But I do find it interesting when people say Jason Whitlock is not sincere. Jason is someone that once in a while will disagree with you. I'll always give you this. I always find you to be sincere, even when I disagree with you.
Yeah, the inference of somehow that I lack sincerity most of the time, and that the only time I've been sincere is when talking about Joy Taylor's peanut butter skin and Big Rack. I went, what show are they watching? And then Joy's inference that, I've never watched his show. But Joy, let me give you the first step towards sincerity and authenticity. Unfollow me on Twitter or X. If you're going to make the statements, you've never seen my content, you don't know what I'm doing, you don't keep up with me, in order to sell that in an authentic manner, unfollow me on X, and then it becomes believable. You follow about 1,500 people. You're not one of these people that follows 10,000. Unfollow me on X and then make the statement that, hey, I don't know what that person says or does. I have no idea. Is he still alive? Cut it out, Joy.
She follows you on X.
Yes.
Wow. Now, she may have just unfollowed you, all right, in about 10 minutes when she sees this.
Yes.
That's the biggest upset of the week. I had no clue. That's amazing. She follows you on X. Huh.
Of course she does. And look, I follow her as well.
Yeah.
I follow her as well. That's not. I don't blame her for following me. I say the most interesting things about the sports media and about a lot of sports issues that she has to cover. And look, Joy is flattered that I talked about how attractive she was. And because, again, there's a lot of people that think Joy is attractive, but then when they see the whole full spectrum of Joy, they're like, oh, it's not as attractive as advertised when you see that lower body and all that stuff. But anyway, Kim, I want to play this last clip of Joy making a biblical reference. Play shot number 8.
To those people, don't get excited. I'm not doing it right now. I'll be bothering you for a few more years, especially the male lonelies. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's like a lot of things. I think it's the political climate. I think it is being famous, whatever that means, has changed.
You're tired.
I'm exhausted. I'm very exhausted. There's no question about that. I'm exhausted. But I'm not exhausted from things I want to be exhausted from. Like there's a good exhaustion, right? Like I created man. It's so now I'm gonna rest, right? Like I'm God. That kind of exhaustion.
How you know God was? How you know God was
tired?
No,
He's
not
tired?
tired. But how you know he felt good about it?
He doesn't actually regretted it. I believe that. I don't know what verse that is. One version of the Bible, probably not the Trump one, but it does say that he regrets making man.
He might.
You know, I think she's at the end. I think she's referring to God flooding the earth and hitting the reset button. But more than anything, I'm just people that are hostile to Jesus Christ. Just shut up and don't talk about God. You don't believe in God, so just leave it alone. And I say that in all seriousness. And I say that because one, God is sovereign, he's all powerful, and doesn't enjoy being mocked, particularly by unbelievers. And so, you know, Joy, you know, if you come out of the Arrested Development, if you come out of the feeling like a victim, the one moment, feeling like a gangster the next moment, feeling like, you know, you've accomplished all these great things. You're one of one. You did that. You're the only one in this space comparable. If you ever humble yourself, you're going to regret in any way mocking God, trying to use his words, wisdom in some sort of way to promote your immoral lifestyle. And I say that having made the same mistake. I used to be really, really immoral and felt real good about my immorality. And could come up with ways to justify my immorality with the Bible. And it was one of the dumbest things I've ever done. Don't do that. And I'm giving you like good advice because I don't have some sort of mean-spirited take or view of Joy Taylor. You know, she's caught up in the feminist movement like most women. She's caught up in a propaganda program that has overcome American society. She's just another victim of America's societal distance from God, distance from a biblical worldview. She's a woman trying to operate in a male space and getting clowned for it. And I feel sorry for her. But, you know, leave God out of it. And in terms of, and I say this humbly, because I get you're doing the whole, hey, I really don't care what Jason Whitlock has to say. Yes, I follow him on Twitter, but I'm not even aware he exists. And Joy, you actually do care. And I don't blame you for caring because you see the way that I get critical of people and who wants to be the target of that. And I certainly don't want to target a woman, but I will if necessary. And so take my criticism of Deion Sanders. If Deion left God out of it, I'd pretty much leave Deion alone. But he's out here pretending like he's representing a biblical worldview, and he's not. And that tends to trigger me. Ryan Clark, from time to time, pretends like he's honoring God and following a biblical worldview. He's not. He's a racial idolater. Joy, you're a feminist, and feminism is the antithesis of a Christian worldview. And the thing, leave God out of it. And for the most part, I will leave you alone, will continue to wish you well, might even say a prayer for you or two. And this isn't me flirting for all you jokesters out there, but if you ever needed any advice, I'd give it to you. Now that you've stumbled and fallen and hitting your head, back when we were at Fox Sports, I would give you no advice because I feared you. You're a woman. You were leading with your breast and that peanut butter skin and that big rack and all that. And I was just like, that's too much for me to handle in terms of, and I'm just keeping it real. It would throw me off. But now, from a distance, if you ever needed some advice and you didn't want to turn to other secular, Jesus denying people like Van Lathan and others, if you ever wanted some advice, I'd be more than happy to give it to you. And I mean that sincerely. And I mean that, and clearly, obviously, I'm not flirting with you. But I mean that sincerely, because someone, your brother, someone needs to give you some advice and try to help you move into a lane that's sustainable and satisfying, joyful, that leads you towards holiness. But, just playing with God and throwing that around, leave that alone. You're going to get my attention.
Like what you saw? Hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the full episode by clicking the link below.